Hey guys, sorry to keep you all waiting. We're here live with Connor Sunderland from Kensington House Media. And I want to keep this really concise, short and sweet, less fluffy. Let's just get into it and talk about what you can do with your email. I'm pretty interested in this conversation. I've been outside of the email space in ecom for just over a year now, paying absolutely no attention. So I'm interested in what people are doing right now, and especially right now in the run up to Black Friday. I mean, I'm seeing brands that are launching their Black Friday sales already. So I imagine this is the time, the last chance to get it locked down.
110%. 110%. Yeah. And like that's what we're going to go through because I think there are a lot of people I've been chatting to like recently, like some brands that I've been chatting to as of late who've still, booked in and wanted to chat about their email and SMS marketing and kind of a little bit of what I've told them has hopefully not been too anticlimactic necessarily, or it hasn't been like too much of a bummer for them where I've kind of said, hey, like, we're, a lot of the, a lot of the tactics that we want to pull in for Black Friday are kind of like groundwork that you would do in September, October, but there's still so many things that are still like within your control that you can kind of do right now in November. And yeah, so like with what I'm going to go through today with kind of all the Black Friday, Cyber Monday email marketing stuff, we'll kind of we'll show you guys like what's kind of still very much within your power, within your locus of control. I'm just going to open up the chat here and just check a little bit here. I have like 3 notifications here, so maybe here we go. Sorry, live stream chat. Cool, there we go. So I will jump straight into the presentation here, guys, and just show you a couple of things that are super actionable. This isn't going to be very theory based. I'm going to give you guys like we're going to have like 30 plus example emails that you guys can basically just rip as well, and you can pull straight into your Klaviyo accounts or into your Omnisend accounts or into whatever you guys use, and you can just take them and run with them right away. So we're going to go through basically how you can build up like a lot of extra demand through your CRM early on in this portion of November, how you can kind of have that go off like really quickly, and how you can maximize kind of the launch day and like the couple of days after launch, and then kind of a little bit of how you can sustain the momentum. And then I'm also going to show you a pretty ridiculous kind of Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend campaign sending cadence. For a lot of our clients, when we actually go through Black Friday day itself, we send 4 to 6 campaigns per day for like 5 days in a row, and I'll show you exactly how we do that without kind of incurring any risk or even like really annoying many people, because it's just a very unique time of year. So I'm going to share a screen at any point, guys. Is that me that's cutting out, Finn? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're not cutting out. You're good.
Sorry. Oscar says there's some audio issues.
Oscar says there's a little bit of audio issues. You might be cutting out for some people.
Okay, I don't know why that is. Let's crack on. If you guys have any issues, just let me know. Just jump in and I'll let me know. And I can potentially look at getting a pair of wired headphones here as well at some point. But yeah, we'll be all good. So I'm going to share a screen here, guys. We're going to go through a couple of things here. We're going to leave you with a number of free goodies here as well at the end. So I will go here, share presentation. I'll go share screen, and let's go here. Cool. Everyone, let me know if you can see this.
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to skip on here. I'm just going to go straight into this stuff. We've been around for about 5 years. We work with brands doing between 7 and 9 figures in revenue. We've done about $300 million in email marketing revenue. So yeah, we've been through a couple of Black Fridays, and a lot of like what we're going to give you guys today has just been tried and tested. So for all of this, we'll just jump straight into the kind of meat and potatoes. So what I want to give you guys first of all is the biggest thing that I can possibly give you at this point in November is any boost in deliverability. I'm going to tell you why. It's cutting out properly, Oscar. Can you hear me fine, Jack? Is it okay for you? Or
You're clear for me. It might be okay. I'm in the actual call with you, but Dennis, is it also cutting out for you? I'm not sure if it's just on Oscar's end. No, okay, you're all good on Dennis's end. So I think you're
perfect. Okay, I was chatting
Alex
to.
It's getting better, so it's definitely happening for a couple of people.
There we go. We're getting stronger and stronger. As I was chatting to a client of ours recently, just a consulting client, I was basically saying to them, because of the way that they run their CRM, the single biggest thing that they could possibly do, they do an offer every single weekend, because they're not like the highest LTV brand in general, so they do an offer every single weekend. what I told them was the single biggest thing we could possibly give you is to increase the number of openers that you can have for this weekend offer, because your whole CRM program is geared around these weekend offers. So it's not necessarily going to be in like, for retention isn't necessarily going to be built around like crazy post-purchase flows. It's more about maximizing these mini peaks that we create for ourselves every single weekend. And the best way we can do that is by keeping as much of our CRM in the fold as humanly possible. So many brands, like I remember seeing this in like 2022, brands like Pupori, AG1, Gymshark, all going into my spam folder in like Black Friday of 2022 in particular. I noticed this. And just because you have good deliverability in the normal run of events does not mean that you will have an amazing deliverability just going into Black Friday. Servers are absolutely rammed. People's inboxes are completely clogged. And so in this time of year, you kind of have to do a little bit of black magic, as I would call it, like just in the lead up to Black Friday to make sure that you can hit the inbox pretty successfully. After that, we'll go through like kind of getting your calendar nailed down. I have a couple of like free gifts I'm going to give you guys here as well, so you guys can use these afterwards. And then we'll go into a couple of things here as well, just on the campaign side. I'm going to give you guys some campaigns that you can use, which are like more in the preparation bucket. If you guys haven't gone live yet with your Black Friday offers, if you're going live maybe this weekend, or you're going live next week, or even the week after, in some people's cases, what I'm going to show you on the offer side will be, or on the preparation side will be huge. So I'm going to give you just deliverability in a nutshell here. I don't want to give you like a big grand thesis on deliverability that's really boring. Deliverability is basically either a virtuous cycle or a vicious cycle. It's one of the two. It's a reputation-based game. What happens is if you have historically poor engagement, this is to say, let's say you have a brand here. Let's just use Gymshark as an example. We've already brought them up. You have Gymshark as a sender, and let's say you have Jack as the recipient. This goes through Gmail. Let's say Jack uses Gmail, and Gmail says, okay, people like Jack, people who use our platform and are subscribed to this sender, these recipients, do they typically open the emails and click them and engage with them in any other way, or do they typically not? If the engagement rates are really poor, that signals really bad things to inbox providers like Gmail and Hotmail. And basically what they will do in future is either put you into promotions or to spam. Similarly, if you have really good engagement, they'll be like, okay, well, people are enjoying these, people are opening them, they're clicking them, they're just engaging with them in many different ways. Where this is obviously a reputable sender that we should send to the inbox. So if you don't have the best engagement rates, you have to intercept the cycle and kind of break the negative cycle somewhere, right? So you kind of need to hack the system in your favor. Now, I will say to you guys here on the call, even if your deliverability is typically good, I would say to do a couple of engagement driving campaigns from your CRM before Black Friday. Because you send to so many recipients when you send campaigns versus flows, because flows kind of drip feed throughout the course of a month, whereas in a campaign you could send to 300,000 people in one go. These campaigns represent a big opportunity to get lots of leverage on our deliverability, so we can basically change our fortunes really quickly. So what we're going to do for a couple of sends is we're just going to take a segment like 7-day engaged or 14-day engaged, and we're going to use some like some plain text emails like these, right? So this is one that we actually did for one of our clients whose deliverability we were like, pulling out of just the gutter last year. Like awful deliverability, and then kind of had their biggest Black Friday by a country mile then, and they just launched their Black Friday now, and it's going to be their biggest Black Friday by a country mile again. So we're making massive leaps year on year. They're getting on average 125,000 openers per campaign. When we began working with them, they were getting around 50,000. Now, the list has grown a lot in this year, but like we did lots of campaigns like these. This is, I would actually, for any of you guys here who are about to start your Black Friday campaigns or your Black Friday sales, just rip this email and do this now. Take a collection or take something that you've recently released and just say, hey, this has been getting a lot of attention on our Instagram, or it's been getting a lot of attention on our website. And then you're just going to send this. Plain text emails are superior for deliverability. Just send this to your 7-day engaged segment. This got a 60% open rate. This was in like October last year. Got a 60 something percent open rate and like a 1.5% click through rate. And like we just saw in like the subsequent campaigns that our open rates were slightly better. What I would recommend to do is take your 7-day engaged segment and do probably like 4 or 5 emails like this over the course of like the next week or so. Or well, the next 2 weeks, I would
Connor,
say.
I have a quick question. I've seen questions getting asked in plain text emails as well. So people saying, I don't know, if you could have anything from our store for free, what would it be? Or, almost a customer service question that helps customer service close the sale. Is there any value to your recipients replying to plain text emails and starting that conversation to that? send a signal to the
It
email
does.
providers that,
It
yeah?
does. If you, that's a wonderful question. Like I think if you have response rates, probably like someone responding will look even better than someone clicking. So if you can solicit responses in some way, shape, or form, that is enormous. You could ask people about, yeah, like if there are any product releases that would be exciting to them, or any new colorways they might want to see in a certain product. Anything you can do to solicit responses is huge. And I just want to say on that point as well, you know, that would still be an email that you would still want to do to a tight segment, like a 7 or 14 day engaged segment. The reason being is that like these are the people who are most likely to respond, and it's more about like the rate. It's more about, so you have like X amount of recipients, what rate of, like, what was the percentage of them that clicked and the percentage of them that responded. You know,
Mm.
the Google, there's like opacity on the side of Gmail and Hotmail when it comes to deliverability. They just know recipients, engagement rate, sender. They do not know that this person's part of a 7 day engaged segment, or they're part of a 90 day engaged segment, or they're part of a non-buyer segment, or they're part of like a window shopper segment, or they're part of a can receive email marketing segment. They have no idea. They just know that there's like, here are recipients, what's their engagement rate, on emails from this sender. And so with that, like to try and solicit responses, I would still do that to a tightly engaged segment. You know, this is probably the single biggest thing I could leave you guys with here. This is just like one of kind of 5 steps that I want to bring you through. But a couple of plain text campaigns like this, just to solicit kind of like good click rates, good open rates before you actually go live with the sale, could mean that you get way stronger open rates on the day, because you actually get inbox placement rather than promotions tab placement. And then when you actually go live with your sale, you just get like a huge increase in revenue. Is everyone good with that? This neatly brings us on to step 2. I wonder, I'm seeing a couple of messages in the chat, potential .store.club. With this plain text email, sorry, should this ever start coming from the CEO of the company, and what the story? Yeah, I mean, to your question, Dennis, I love this coming from the CEO of the company. I love things that come from like a character from the company. We use someone who actually works for this company quite often. So like within email marketing in general, I love using a character like that. If the store just has 2 to 3 SKUs, I mean, if, in that case, Dennis, I would still look to get something that you can click on. Maybe if you had like a piece of content that went kind of viral, or that just got good engagement, be like, hey, a lot of people responded to this on our Instagram, go check it out. Or hey, you know, we just have I would probably use Instagram content in that case. If you guys have like a low SKU count, in that case, that would probably be the best way to go through. Grant says, Connor, with this plain text idea still work for low SKU companies? Yeah, like it would still, because like the idea here, Grant, is we just want to spike our engagement rates in a short period of time, so then we can get better inbox placement in like 2 weeks' time. So this is why we take a tiny segment of people, the most engaged people, so we can get a really high rate of engagement. That's kind of the main idea. Like, this isn't necessarily to drive a ton of revenue. It's more so just so you can get better inbox placement when the big day comes around. Getting responses is even better than clicks. Yeah, both, like if you can get both, Finn, that's great. But yeah, responses are fantastic to get. Sorry, Jack.
No, I was just going to say, Grant, I can guess, tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you sell jewelry. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm just taking a stab in the dark. I feel like, and to correct me if I'm wrong here, Connor, but the goal of retention marketing is to retain as many new site visitors into people that you can email and SMS and send browser
Precisely.
notifications to, you can send messaging to, and then take as
Precisely.
many of those people that you retain, you get their contact information, and turn them into new customers. And if you're in one of those segments where you just don't have much repeat purchase, these emails still have a goal, and that's to turn as many of those new site visitors into subscribers, and then as many of those subscribers into new customers, right?
Precisely.
But it may also be that the future of your business has more potential for repeat purchase, right? I once worked with an engagement ring brand, and they moved out into fashion jewelry, into event jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, all of the other stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
they were a different business, right? They suddenly had repeat purchase. So so yeah, maybe that adds something. Let's see if
Because I
Grant
know
is in.
it does, and I think like that gives you, if you have a couple of extra SKUs like that, obviously they're in different categories as well. Like if you have a couple of different SKUs, it does give you a lot more opportunity on the back end. I mean, for I'll send you guys something after this. Maybe we can do another webinar on this, Jack, where I kind of run through this, but we go through brand archetype. We'll probably do this after Black Friday. It's not as topical now, but maybe in January we can do another webinar where we go through brand archetypes and how that affects how you do retention marketing. If you were high AOV, naturally low repeat purchase rate, or if you're low AOV, naturally high repeat purchase rate. These are completely different businesses in terms of how they want to do retention marketing. So in that case, with that brand that you had worked with, for someone who's maybe purchased something before and we're, let's say, profitable on the customer already, but they haven't purchased in a long time, that's someone you maybe would be probably more okay with giving a very high volume of emails to, and be okay with cracking a few eggs to make the omelet, so to speak, but you're just doing that in an enlightened way, which I can certainly go through in another webinar. So we go here, Oscar, potential deliverability issues with .store or .club. The thing is, Oscar, is that you're going to have a branded sending domain. So you're going to have your own sending domain, which you'll set up with Klaviyo, or you'll set up with OmniSend, or you'll set up with whatever ESP that you use. So you will have like your own personal intermediary. And it's not so much like the reputation that you have at your .store or .club, if that's the actual root domain of your store. It's more so the reputation of your branded sending domain, that has. That's really the thing that we want to protect. Go just a little bit of email nerd knowledge, but in early 2024, when we all had to move to branded sending domains, before we used to use shared domains with Klaviyo and and OmniSense, you would have, let's say your name is just oscar.store, for example, you would have oscar.store via ksd1.klaviomail.com as an intermediary domain, but 50 brands would send through that. So it was more about the shared reputation of that shared server. Now you have your own send.oscar.club, for example, and like it's more about the reputation of that. So not really something I would worry about there, Oscar, in terms of the deliverability there. Does anyone have any questions more on deliverability? I'm going to go into priming the list and how we do that before Black Friday. Of course, bro. If you guys want to, I'll go into priming the list if anyone doesn't have any questions. Cool. Okay, sweet. So what we're going to do, right? So we're about 3 weeks out from Black Friday here. What we're going to do is we're going to have 2 distinct stages to the warming, right? So I'm going to give you guys example emails here. I'll drop the link in the chat after when we're coming to the end of this for this document. You guys will all get it for free, but there are a couple of free Notion documents inside here as well, right? I'm going to show you a huge hack, and I'm going to show you an email that we send for basically all of our 63 clients right now, like the day before their Black Friday sale goes live. It's we call it the postman email. It always delivers. It always helps you the next day, at Black Friday when things go live. So pretty much what we want to do is, in the weeks coming up to Black Friday, particularly the week out, we want to let everyone know that Black Friday is coming. And then there is one email the day before we go live, which it's really cheeky, but it gets everyone to we will do, Megan. We'll send out the replay. But when we get to when we get to the day before Black Friday, we'll send a cheeky email, right? So I'm going to show you guys this here just a second. Share this tab instead. So this is an email I would copy and I would just send something out. What I would do here, you can see this is going to get like a really nice click rate as well, because it's so direct and to the point. This would be kind of like the week of Black Friday. We're doing something special. Remember to check your inbox, and in the meantime, start browsing. These are kind of some emails that we'd send, which are a little bit, like kind of these are a little bit more direct. Like in this one, we ask people to favorite and star the email, move it to their primary inbox, and so on. In this one, we tell people exactly what the offer is. These 3 emails are things I would certainly send again. And I'm just going to cut down to the following email here. This really, really good email. I love plain text emails for this, guys, by the way. Like, I would actually prioritize in the week before your sales go live to do a lot of heavy plain text emails. Sorry, not heavy text emails and plain text emails, because what happens with these is that they sort of just fly under the radar and people love them, and people actually read them and digest the message. Then the postman email is about to come here, but we'll show you this one here. This is an email you should, everyone please, I'll send you the link here. Everyone download this email and just run this exact email. The day before your Black Friday sale goes live, this is, we've primed our deliverability now. We've let people know Black Friday is coming. We're going to send out an email with the subject line super short. We're going to say, don't buy from us today. So you could do it in all caps as well. Don't buy from us today. You're going to tell people not to buy from you. And what you're going to do is you're going to send an email like this. I'm going to tell you not to shop with us today. It's not opposite day. You're a big part of the fam, but you're going to be paying full price if you pay today. But our deals are going live tomorrow, so wait until tomorrow. Then you can jump in here. You can get people to subscribe to SMS. This is a great time to get people to subscribe to SMS the whole week before Black Friday. So then when the sale goes live, no one can possibly miss it. Like we've had emails like this that have gotten us like, 1,000 SMS subscribers, like literally 1,000 SMS subscribers in one email. Then the next day, that could lead to a couple of hundred purchases that wouldn't have otherwise happened. Like this is just like a huge, a huge day if you make the absolute most of it. This is from Supply. They're a really cool kind of a razor brand and shaving brand for men. But yeah, like this email, I would genuinely recommend everyone here run this, the day before their Black Friday sale goes live. So yeah, I'll drop this into you guys very soon. This is, we're kind of talking about the Band-Aid stuff here still a little bit, the kind of thus far. I'm going to go down to something which will require a little bit more resource from you guys. It's not so much just a case of sending out a couple of emails at this point. I'm going to go into sign up forms and actually some Black Friday flows, which if you guys don't have the resource to get these done, the flows in particular, because that will require a couple of extra emails and you guys putting in a bit of extra work, then yeah, like I can understand that, the campaigns and just to say, hey, send out these couple of plain text campaigns to let people know Black Friday is coming. That's a little bit easier because you were already going to allocate that resource towards designing your campaigns already. But if you can get to the flows in the way that I'm going to show you guys now, it would be also amazing, and it would really help your Black Friday sales from retention. I mean, in general, Finn, I would probably say like 3. And then, I mean, we've done more, but I would probably say 3, including that one, the postman email. Just to go back to that, the postman email that always delivers. We'll go for that.
Wait, Connor. This is what you guys do at Kensington House Media, right? You send emails, but am I understanding you right? Maybe you don't have capacity to bring on extra people for Black Friday.
Yeah, so like, well, we can't. I mean, what I'm like, for us now, we won't be bringing on anyone until January. But for people here who might be running email internally, in their business, probably a lot of people, if they do have designers, they're probably allocating them towards a lot of design for ad creatives a little bit more. They're probably kind of hunching over their foreplay boards and seeing what they can take from other brands here and kind of get their designers to remake. You guys should make a foreplay for email, by the way, please. That would actually like save my life. But yeah, so I know it'd be a big job, but yeah, like if you guys don't have the design resource internally to, let's say build a bunch of net new flows, then, I would allocate that design resource to your campaigns because, it's probably resource you were going to allocate already. Some of you guys as well here, potentially your founders wearing all the hats. So I think jumping into do your Black Friday flows could be a little bit difficult at this stage, but even so, that's what we're going to get into next. And I'll go here into.
So if I'm understanding this right, if you're a founder or if you're a brand that has limited resources and you're stuck between Black Friday campaigns or even a higher volume of Black Friday campaigns up to the sort of sends that you're doing, maybe 4 to 6 a day over the very peak of Black Friday, or Black Friday flows, you're saying lean towards campaigns.
Yeah, I would lean towards campaigns for sure. And, I think the campaigns, I think probably for a lot of people here, it's something they were going to do anyway. At least they were going to send something on those various days. I would just have some contention in terms of what they would send. I think some people really leading up to their Black Friday sale going live, I think they kind of miss out on some extra juice that they can squeeze out of things. Let me show you here, Finn. I'll show you the the postman email. It always delivers, as we would say. That's more from myself and Jack's neck of the woods that we would say stuff like that. If you're a good footballer who always scores, you'd say, he's the postman. He always delivers. But here we have this from Supply. This email, Finn, I would send this out the day before your Black Friday sale goes live. The whole idea here, oh man, this stuff, I mean, you'll actually see that the next day, everyone is aware your sale is going live. You get so much more traffic to your site. You're going to send out a campaign. Looks like this. The subject line could be all caps, could not be all caps, but you're going to say, do not buy from us. Do not buy from us. And people are like, what? Brand is telling us not to buy from them. What the hell? And then they open up the email and it's not even clickbait because you are saying, don't buy from us. Just don't buy from us today. Don't buy from us today because our sale goes live tomorrow. And then what happens is you get a really strong open rate on this campaign because people are like, what the hell? Like someone's telling us not to buy from them. And then they're like, oh, Black Friday is going live tomorrow. And then this is a key. You can get like an extra number of SMS kind of signups here. This is key. Like I think in your Black Friday lead up emails, a big thing you can do if you use Klaviyo, if you use OmniSend, you can make a form and you can just duplicate a page in your Shopify and you can put that form in just an SMS only form. Because people click through from an email, there's a UTM link that goes onto them. So the CRM can identify them. It knows it's that email. And then it can put that SMS phone number when they sign up for SMS, it tags it with that email. So you can just put an SMS form like on like a blank page in Shopify, and then you can direct people there. That can be sort of the CTA kind of thing. Of course, Vin. So, okay, is everyone understanding thus far? We're going to get into sign up forms now, because this is kind of the business end of things. This is where I think you can actually start to get a lot of extra emails going into December and January to remarket to with your sign up forms. So everyone here in the chat, was everyone here planning on doing a Black Friday specific sign up form, like changing their typical, get 10% off or get a free gift or get whatever? Anyone here, if you just want to like message into the chat, were you thinking of doing a new sign up form for Black Friday, or has anyone told you to do this before? Yeah, don't want to write. Boom, Timmy, excellent stuff. Who else? As of yesterday, Grant, Dennis, everyone flying. We're doing for early bird access. Yes, of course. Beautiful. Okay. Here's what I want you guys to do. Okay. This is an example of what we would do for a Black Friday sign up form. And I just want to show you guys this, right? So this is for one of our clients who was doing up to 50% off last year. All you want to do is just reflect the offer. That's all you want to do. This here, you don't have to overdo anything. You have your best offers of the year live. So just showcase those. The key thing that you want to do is you just want to say click below. You don't want to bring them off the website. Don't tell people to check their inbox. Don't tell people to go off the website. You're basically trying to do is just get a load of emails for cheap here. You're like, we want to keep someone on the website. We have our best offers live. If you've seen any of the stuff that we've kind of been putting out, and that my friend Matthew was on here a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking through BFCM offers with his CRO agency, and kind of what we're going to be doing for our own e-commerce brand that we have internally at our agency is we're just going to do a flat discount, and like there's no code. So it's just like auto applied on the website. So what you want to do is just remove friction here. You don't really want to say, hey, go check your email inbox and whatever it might be. You just want to say, look, we have up to 50% off here. Get them to put in their email, get them to put in their phone number, and then just get them to click on and move on, and then hopefully go on to purchase, because you have this auto applied. I hope everyone has that code auto applied. It's not like a crazy stackable offer where you have to put in a code or anything like this. Black Friday offer, just the simpler the better. For you guys who've responded in the chat, so for Grant, for Timmy, for Dennis, for Oscar, Finn, Natalie, Alex, Megan, are you guys just doing a flat discount, no code required? I hope the answer is yes. Yes for Dennis. Yeah, no code, flat discount for Alex. Megan says yes. Beautiful. Grant says, yeah, flat discount. Beautiful. Lovely stuff. Okay, so I'll give you guys this here in a sec. I'll drop in the link in a sec. We have here similar thing. You're in now. Go get your 20%. Just keep it very simple and direct to the point. Similar thing. Thanks for signing up. Enjoy your 60% off. Well, up to 60% off your code. So all you can do, you could just like duplicate your Black Friday or your typical pop-up, because like what happens, I've seen this so many times where people are like, you get like customer support requests where people are like, oh, well, it's up to 40% off and you have like get 10% off your first order. Can I stack these two? And you're like, no, you cannot actually stack these two. You have like you just want to get as many people to see your best offers of the year. Similar thing with your campaigns. You don't necessarily need to overdo anything. Cool. Who here has their calendar fully built? I'm going to give you a really simple cheat sheet here that you guys can do to work backwards. If your calendar isn't fully built through November and December, I'm going to give you guys a quick Notion sheet. You can work backwards and your calendar will build itself. Your calendar is actually pretty simple to build. It's like it's something that a lot of people, I think, leave to the last minute. I've seen some reactions in the chat. I hope people haven't left it too last minute. Let's see here. We have it laid out. Megan has it laid out. Thank God. Anyone here not at all pretty new at my brand at a small list of people? Okay, Alex, I've got you covered. Where do we get these links? I'm going to drop this into the chat in a second, Timmy, to like the whole doc. Anyone else here? Finn, mostly laid out all. Okay, we got that. Content deals built, flows and campaigns not. Okay, so Grant, I think you mean you've got your calendar mostly built. So that's good to hear. Content deals built. Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect. Let's check this out here, and I'm going to show you And all you're gonna have to do is work backwards on this. So what you're going to do here, so this is all the way back to October, but like you can basically come in here and you can drop in your days that you're going after, right? So you can just tick these. You can take like what the cadence of emails is, like how many you're going to do, and what the promo and offer is. The promo and offer will probably be the same all the way through. So when you do this, you say, okay, let's say Cyber Monday is going to be this amount, is going to be, up to 30% off for argument's sake. And we're going to have, let's say we're going to do 4 emails for that. You can start to think of the ideas back to front, and you can start to fill up your calendar that way. And you'll see like that the calendar fills itself. You're going to be doing stuff for Thanksgiving, for Black Friday, for Cyber Monday. If you're doing stuff for Hanukkah, if you're doing stuff for Christmas Eve, for Christmas, for Boxing Day or St. Stephen's Day, for New Year's Eve, any general December holiday and such. You can start to tick through here as well if you have any other notable dates. Quite a lot of you might have a product launch going on during Black Friday. I've seen a lot of brands start to do that in November and December. You might have, some new things going live in general. This will take up a number of campaigns. You'll start to see there's actually not much real estate left in your campaign calendar once you have this done. Will you offer express shipping? Like this could change. This could mean that you have, a push of campaigns up to December 17th, where you try to say to people, hey, this is the last chance to get typical shipping. But then you have, some campaigns that go out between December 18th and December 22nd, where you say, if you want to get express shipping in the continental US, or if you're in the UK, if you want to get stuff in the UK or in the EU, this is the last date. You start to build urgency into your calendar in December. If you have gift cards as an option on your Shopify, you could take yes, and that could be a campaign that you do on the 23rd, the 24th, potentially even Christmas Day if you're particularly ruthless. And then, we'll kind of have a couple of icons here as well. But you'd be incorporating holiday colors, or stick with brand colors. What I've also put in here, I'll give you guys this link in a sec, is, hang on a minute. I'm going to have to add a Figma board after this. I have a Figma board of Black Friday emails, which I'll put into this doc. I'll be giving you guys this doc so you can just refresh it in a couple of hours, and I'll have a Figma board here of example Black Friday emails that you can basically steal. So you can go in here, fill out your calendar back to front based off of the holidays that you're going to be doing stuff for, go through what the offer is going to be, the cadence of emails that you want to send, and then when I give you in your sheet of your Figma board, you'll be able to just build out the emails from there.
Connor, I can't believe you're using a serif font for that calendar. That's a crime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big serif man, if I'm honest. I've all my Notion pages in serif.
That's offensive. I feel like everyone who's listening right now is going to be like, this Connor guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about, but that serif font, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, no, he's got to go. Like, I think a lot of people have just tuned out. I think a couple of people have chucked I think it just like flipped their table over. They're like, I can't listen to this guy.
Can you see the counter on your side of how many people I think we just lost like 50 people.
Yeah, I think we had 77 people in here like a moment ago, and now we're dust. Right. It's all I might have to change, but what? I'll put it all into like some Microsoft Paint font. I'll put it into like Open Sans or something like that afterwards. We can put that into Notion. So yeah.
Tamara's still there.
Yeah, well, we got. Oh damn! Grant's got my heart melting here. It's freezing cold in Ireland, in November, but my heart is melting off of this comment. This one of the most usable sessions I've done so far. Yeah, I want to keep it like straight into the point. Like I think here we're in November already, so like I don't want to go through. Here's what would be the most ideal. Kind of look like we're coming up to Black Friday here. I don't want to go through what's ideal. I want to go through what you guys can actually use, right? So like. Just straight in, no kissing, straight into the usable kind of information for November, and kind of the example emails that you guys can use, and just like getting yourself primed and ready to rock. So yeah, sorry for the serif font, guys, but I hope the information has made up for it a little bit. Okay, I know you guys are a little bit resource strapped in many respects, but I'm going to show you something. Is anyone here in the consumable space? Does anyone here have a product that is CPG or is just naturally repurchase? It's kind of has a natural repurchase effect. We're not so much CPG with my own brand internally. We're in the pet space. It's kind of repurchase oriented. It's a little bit higher, kind of repurchase oriented, but it's not amazing. Supplements health food. Sarah Font is trying. Jack, we got some people who are they're on board with the Sarah Font. Some people here. I've made some friends here today. I think I'm like Marmite, the Sarah Font. Okay, let's see here. Okay, we've got some people here. Okay, I'm going to go over one crucial fact with Black Friday and with any sale that I think many people overlook, and they particularly overlook it in the CPG category. So many people in Black Friday purchase twice. If you actually look through your CRM and you look at, Megan, like that's amazing. 60% is insane. So what I want to get you guys focusing on, especially if you're in CPG, but even if you're not, right? If you're in apparel, if you're in something that's remotely repurchasable, like we have some clients in fashion who have like a 35% repeat purchase rate, a 40% repeat purchase rate. That's still super high. So what I want to show you guys, one data point, just fixate ourselves on this. So many people purchase twice within a sale. So many, like you would not believe, when you have your best offers of the year on a Black Friday. So what I advocate for is going hell for leather on the weekend with a couple of exclusions, which make it so people can still repurchase, but we don't hammer them. So look at this, right? I just want you guys to fixate on this. So this was something I made in February 3rd, 2025. This sale only ended like towards the end of December last year. If I remade these segments now, this would probably be higher. But these are people who purchased in Black Friday, like a tad over half of them were new. I don't have the exact thing in here, but of this, we had like 10,000 people purchase twice or more. Like that's, okay, just think about that, right? That's insane, okay? So the way that we do things, the way that we orient ourselves for like the Black Friday campaigns, we need to realize that people could purchase twice. So we think that because someone has already bought on Black Friday that we shouldn't annoy them, or that Nanny said we shouldn't annoy them, but there's nothing in the laws of physics stopping them from buying multiple times. We see it play out so many times. So we're going to go through ascending cadence here, guys. It's between 4 and 6 campaigns per day. That's not a mistake. I say 4 to 6 campaigns per day here, not an error. This helps us drive a huge wave of customer acquisition, which we can actually drive the value of up over time. We can actually drive the value of it up in this this exact sale. We can drive up LTV, and like even some dead profiles here. If people aren't going to come back in Black Friday, they're just not going to come back in general. Returning to my deliverability point, when we start to mail people on Black Friday, the first kind of group of people, I want to hit my 180-day engage segment, or maybe even my can receive marketing segment. I want to get everyone to say, hey, look, no, you haven't been on our website in 9 months, but you've purchased from us before, or you've been interested in buying our products before. Here we have an up to 30% off, which you're never going to see for the normal for most of the year. For like 11 months of the year, you'll never see this offer, but right now you'll see it. Are you interested? Yes or no? So what we're going to do, this is on 12-hour click attribution. If you were to use a standard Klaviyo thing, like I would probably say this would genuinely be 7 figures. 12-hour click without doing open attribution just makes your stats look pretty terrible. But I'm going to show you this sale here. For a client of ours, they wanted to do like 600K in the month of November from email marketing. That was like the massive stretch goal they thought to be impossible. We did like 909K to beat, or like 900 and something. I forget how much it was, but like, yeah, it was a lot. So here's what we're going to do. Look at these. I want you guys to fixate on this for a second. Now, this is in my time in Ireland. So this brand is on EST. So just go -5 hours off of this, right? So this is 6 a.m. Then, because this is actually, I sent it 11:01 a.m. Irish time, so it's actually 6 a.m. in New York. This is 3 p.m. Irish time, so this is actually 10 a.m. in New York. Then this is 8 p.m. Irish time, which is actually 3 p.m. in New York. And then this is 12 midnight Irish time, which is actually 7 p.m. in New York. So just kind of -5 hours off of all of this, and this is what you get. We start to make the segments a little bit smaller here as we go on. So you can see here, even though the open rate is going up, the amount of openers isn't going up massively. What actually happens here, this is a similar thing on December. Once again, you can -5 hours off of these. Is we're going to go to this kind of we're going to have a cadence like this. 180 day engaged for the first email. So we'll make 2 unique emails. So this will be the first unique email. This will be the second unique email. This will be a resend of the first unique email. And this will be a resend of the second unique email. This could be designed. This could be plain text, just as an example. You don't have to do it exactly that way either. What we do for this email, we minus anyone who's opened in the last 6 hours and has purchased in the last 2 days. So if someone's purchased in the last 2 days, they're not going to get annoyed, right? They're not going to be like, what the hell? I just purchased, like, why can you guys please just leave me alone for a second? But we still, after that 2 days, they're like, oh, fucking you know what, like I could come back and buy some more stuff. It's never on sale, to this degree. We then also don't have to make a segment of, people who have opened this campaign. By having last 6 hours, we make it so everyone here is contained in this group. Later on, you have to bear in mind people are getting so many emails at this time of year versus the normal time of year that, like, if you send 4 a day, you'll be fine, man. No one's actually going to get these because a lot of them will have opened. At this point, we start to go to a smaller segment. The reason we get smaller from 180 to 90 to 45 to 14 is because we don't want to screw up our open rates. Going back to my deliverability point, deliverability is a virtuous cycle or a vicious cycle. If we're getting poor engagement rates, we're going to be likely to go to the promotions inbox. If we're getting good engagement rates, we're more likely to go to the primary inbox. So when we have these exclusions, like we just start to print, like we just start to really fly in terms of revenue generated. Once again, you could basically triple these numbers to get the actual revenue contribution of these because of the attribution settings that we have. But this honestly for the black.
I'm interested.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I just wanted to ask about the attribution piece because it seems interesting to me. What if somebody, I'm not sure how Klaviyo's attribution works, especially when you're tightening the windows like that, but if somebody clicks on one email, then clicks on another email, which email is getting attributed the sale? Is it both of them or is it the last one that they clicked? And then why do you recommend using a 12-hour click window? What is what
it'll just be the last email, and like we do quite often use 12-hour click attribution, but mainly for like bigger clients who run like a lot of spend on multiple channels. That client there has a big subscription program. They spend a crazy amount on Meta. They spend quite a bit on AppLovin. They spend quite a bit on Google as well. For them, like for brands where they're not really 100% sure where things are coming from, that is like, we basically try to get the attribution settings with Klaviyo as close to their Google Analytics or to Triple Whale or to whatever attribution platform they use as possible. So we try to get it all to sing off the same song sheet. The thing with Klaviyo's attribution is that it's not like Meta. It's not like sequential events. It's not like views ad, clicks ad, landing page view, viewed content, add to cart, purchase, initiate checkout, purchase. It's more like if you have open tracking on in Klaviyo, it could be taking credit for sales that it really didn't drive. So I do get it from the founder's perspective. If you're a brand here that does spend quite a bit on Meta, or you spend quite a bit on multiple platforms and you're not 100% sure where everything's coming from, and like you're a little bit skeptical in general, if you're particularly skeptical of email marketing and how much it's claiming to have generated, then I would absolutely look to do click only attribution. I mean, like we do recommend it quite a bit, to be honest. And, particularly for people who spend a bit on a number of platforms, because as you well know yourself, Jack, it's like, you don't know where everything's come from, like past a point. I think a lot of bigger brands have made peace with that, a long time ago. They're kind of forging ahead in the dark.
Tell me if I'm wrong here, but like I view email as contribution, not attribute. Like you're not generating, for most brands, you're not generating any new business through email. You're increasing the likelihood that they, become a customer. You're increasing likelihood, but they're not finding new people, right? They were found through a different channel, right? And
Precisely.
that channel is getting attributed as well. So I don't know, like with the 12-hour attribution window, if somebody clicks and they purchase more than 12 hours later, the next day, would you say that email did its job? Or even if they just opened the email and then they made a purchase, to me, if that contributed to them in the sale, then I'd give credit where it's due, right?
Yeah, I think I would. Like I'd try to be very strict, just like even like being a brand owner myself. Like I think the big breadwinner is just like it really is Meta and making really, really good creatives and becoming a hoarder of creatives, to be honest, and seeing like just getting a load of winners from like different categories and just getting your creative skill to be really, really dialed. I think probably since starting our own brand, I've probably become, it's weird to say as a retention agency owner, but probably a little bit skeptical of like email attribution. Just like speaking very candidly there, like I would, if someone is taking in open attribution and Klaviyo is taking credit for those sales, I'm not. I think 12-hour click attribution is probably pretty fair. I think it's a pretty fair setting to use and to not have any open attribution.
That's interesting. I can see some customers getting that Apple notification, which almost just looks like it's a push notification, right? Like if you captured them and got them to accept push notifications, and then just going directly to the website. And if you're not tracking some of those like lighter interactions, then maybe you're not giving email all of the credit it's due, right, for
I think,
driving an incrementally higher purchases, right?
I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think there is a lot of truth to that. I think when people click, if that is the last click, I think it fairly well did drive the purchase. I do think there were a lot of
Right,
cases though, where someone might open an email, and because someone has, I mean, we come in after some agencies have run accounts and they have 5-day open, 5-day click, and you're like, man, you're just like that. That's just crazy settings. So someone could actually,
right,
open an email, and then they could, click a Facebook ad, and 2 days later, and potentially if they check another email, but they haven't clicked the email, but they've clicked the Facebook ad, I would probably say Meta should get the credit for that. But then it will actually go
right,
to email from having opened an email. So you see, when you start to see people who have open attribution on, I think it starts to get a little bit murky, to be honest. So I love just having
right,
click. It makes us look worse. Don't get me wrong, to the clients, but once it's well explained to them, then I think it's fine. But
right.
yeah, like it's so big. Like, see, to Dennis's point here, like, yeah, I've used Wicked Reports, to be fair. Then, I've used Wicked Reports, but I've used some different things. I do think it's also true that some attribution tools are like super unfair to email attribution, to like Klaviyo or to OmniSend. Um, so I would say I have heard really good things about Wicked Reports, though, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, on the Meta and Creative Factory, yeah, I've just become a creative hoarder in the last kind of couple of months since getting the brand going. I shout out to my friend Alex Cooper as well, a good friend of Foreplay, who his advice to me was just, yeah, man, just become a hoarder. So yeah. Um,
Nice.
Guys, I want to jump into this just to say this is the new normal in Black Friday, and I think a lot of people were talking about this last year. Exactly that, Dennis. Like, the new normal. I hope you guys don't get sticker shock and think 4 to 6 emails a day. Goodness gracious, I don't want to do 4 to 6 emails a day. It's the new norm. Last year, if you're looking at the darlings that we all look at in the direct consumer space at the moment, but even like other brands that we don't, that like a lot of people don't see the time of, don't see in the same way that they see Groons or Breeze or something like that. But let's take a brand like Hike Footwear. Wonderful brand, growing like a virus at the moment. Not really a brand that you look at to the same degree of, your Groonses or your Breeze or like your Loop earplugs or these people that we all know about. But for them, like any brand like that, they're sending a ton of emails on Black Friday, like way more than even a couple of years ago. So I do just want to bring your attention to this. Your Klaviyo needs to be looking like this, like on the Black Friday weekend. If that's the weekend that you're going for as like your mother of all peaks, your Klaviyo's got to be looking like this. That doesn't mean you need to be making unique emails all the time. It just means that, if you have four sends, you could have two unique emails, one designed, one plain text. You'll be able to drive way more contribution. And like, to be honest, in general, guys, like I see up until probably 5-ish emails a week. I think the more you send, there's not, I'm not going to say a linear relationship, but there's a huge relationship between how often you send and the amount of generated revenue from email. I think a lot of people are afraid to crack a few eggs to make the omelet. A lot of people. I think more people beat around the bush than oversend.
Right. I like the way that you described it, the new normal, because it is reality that, you're not going to stand out as spamming your recipients because they're receiving so many emails from other brands at the same time that this is normal. You are part of the other brands. And if you only send once, you're going to be on the second page of their inbox very fast. And then no one's going to the second page of their inbox to open up
Exactly.
your emails. And you know what I think it is? I think if you're a brand owner and you get 10 emails off a seasonal peak when people are not expecting to receive so many promotional emails, you get 10 emails from your customers saying, stop spamming me. But you sent 200,000 emails. 10 emails feels like a lot because you received it to your inbox, you opened them, you saw them. But really, it's at statistically nothing, right? You've sent hundreds of thousands of emails. It's normal for you to get a few spam complaints. It's normal for you to get a few replies from people who are just not into it. That maybe they're not subscribed to so many brands' emails, then they want their
Exactly.
email inbox clean, or maybe you just hit them on the wrong day and they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So
Exactly.
if that's you, if you've got a couple emails from your customers who are like, stop spamming me, it might just be 2, 10, or 20 out of hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think here, like on this point, like if I'm going through, I think Ola's question kind of relates to your point, Jack. I mean, I'll go to the second part of the question first, Ola. OmniSend is probably what is another platform that I would recommend outside of Klaviyo. Klaviyo is a wonderful platform, but it is expensive. There's we're a Klaviyo, platinum partner and all this kind of thing, but I do believe in calling it how I see it as well. It is expensive, for sure. On the sending customers too many emails, not necessarily. Like I wouldn't say that. And I think particularly through Black Friday, once again, the whole idea there, to Jack's point, is like you're going to be on page two pretty quickly because of the volume of emails people are getting. You have your best offers of the year. You don't need to do anything super duper special with your emails at this time of year because you have your best offers. The offers speak for themselves. And so you just need to maximize the chances of you being on the first page of the inbox or high up the inbox whenever they open their inbox. And like the way to do that is by sending a high volume of emails, but just making sure that you're doing it in a way where you don't harm your deliverability. Hence why we go to smaller and smaller segments. In general, sending too many emails, like it kind of depends on that on the point that you consider too many. Like I think the biggest thing, like I put into a segmentation guide we put on YouTube, is if you're getting 3 high quality emails out to your main engaged segments each week, and then like the rest of your emails are to micro segments which have opportunity in them depending on your brand archetype. Like for a CPG brand, that'll be different to a furniture brand or to an audio gear brand. I think that's what you're running to your brand, Dennis, or maybe it was Finn who's running an audio gear brand. But you wouldn't really train people to ignore them as such. Like we've seen really, really, really mostly good outcomes here. As such. I want to go into one thing as well, guys, here, which is really key in Black Friday. Everyone sends on the hour. Sending at like 7:47 a.m. or 8:06 p.m. out for us outperforms traditional send times. A little bit of sauce for you guys here on the campaigns, because like you get like a wave of brands that send out on the hour, and then you just come out 6 minutes later, and all of a sudden there isn't this wave of people after you who are shoving you down the inbox. So if you're going to send at 7:30, send at 7:34, or send at 7:37. Or instead of sending at 7:45, send at 7:49. If you instead of sending at 9 a.m., send at 9:06. Plain text, I'd honestly just like I nearly do all of them in plain text, to be honest. If it were up to me, but like yeah, like it's way easier to get into the inbox this way. What we found with some clients was that they did an early Black Friday sale, then they did a break for a week, then they went into their Black Friday sale typically. And when we had 2 peaks, that mostly did way better for every client. But I don't want to throw a spanner in the works with your whole Black Friday thing. Okay, we're coming up in 4 minutes away. Okay, I'm going to give you one last piece of sauce here, guys. I'm actually going to copy the link here of the document and I'll put it into the chat here. But this is one last piece of sauce I want to do here, right? What we do is we end the sale, and then we do this email. Man, I'll show you this email printed for us. This was last year in summer, so this wasn't actually a Black Friday sale, but basically here we told people, hey, our sale did way better than we expected. I spoke with our warehouse manager and he told me, or she told me, that I can do one more day and I can extend the sale. Now, what I would do here for the call to action is I would put in indented arrows. This is another esoteric piece of sauce, but like doing like indented arrows like this actually increases click-through rate in our experience in plain text emails, which is like a weird tip. But like, yeah, if you were to go and send this and you were to do this an off-hour send, it's going out at 9 a.m. Instead, we put it out at 9:06 a.m. and we're like, hey, we've got to go ahead to do one last day. This email, I think, did like 50K, and it was like at the end of the sale. And like we were going to just end the sale. Think of it like that 50K could have just not happened. Obviously we have the sale on there, but let's say you have 30%, you're 30% off. That's like a 3.3x ROAS or 3.5x ROAS, and you can get like 50K in at a 3.5x ROAS or whatever, if you want to view the discount as your acquisition cost. Please try this out. Say, your warehouse manager told you, or you could just go a little bit more direct here and be like, hey, we were blown away by the response. So, you now have until Monday at midnight or this day at midnight to go on. And yeah. What else did I say here? Is there anything else I can go through? I don't think we're going to have time here. Sorry. I always take my time here. I have some
Don't worry, man.
I have some thank you emails at the bottom of the doc here, guys. There are some other Notion kind of documents in there which you guys can go and run and use. This kind of gets you to just sort of thank people if they spent a generous amount with you, to to go and and not hate you after you've just spammed their inbox for a couple of weeks, and start to get back to a pretty normal relationship with your customers. And then as you go into January, you can start to just start to get some good normality back to things. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Finn. Thank you, Oscar. If anyone wants to reach out to Connor, it's Connor Trains on X, and
Please.
he's on LinkedIn too.
Here we go. Oh, you don't see the Google Doc with the email template? Check inside, Tamra. So with the email templates, you should see there. You'll have like a couple of you'll have a couple of Notion pages inside the doc, Tamra. So yeah, awesome. Cheers, guys. Yeah,
Thank you, Tim.
LinkedIn is also great.
Thank you, everyone.
But yeah, really thanks so much for coming, guys. See you on Twitter. Twitter, I'm more active on. If you guys have any questions, just drop me a message there. I'm super active on Twitter. And yeah, we can talk to you there. I'll be sharing any esoteric tips on how to be, slightly profitable on Meta this time of year as well, which we're somehow managing to do with our nascent brand. So yeah, we can go and have a Meta support group for all of us who are struggling in November. But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.